Welcome to Cosmic Conversations, the podcast where spirituality meets real life. I'm Siobhan, your host, aka the Cosmic Coach, and this is a space where we are going to explore the layers of what make us truly who we are. There's going to be a series of solo episodes along with some incredible guests, a space where we can truly discuss the universe within us all. This episode of Cosmic Conversations is proudly sponsored by Goosey Goo. Goosey Goo is an Irish brand that creates sustainable, ethical, hypoallergenic baby clothes, made to be gentle on sensitive skin and free from over 1,000 harsh chemicals. They're also really affordable. You pay around 15 quid for a romper or a sleep suit, and of course with a discount that will be even less, so stay tuned. But the story behind this brand is really inspiring and actually powerful. Sean, along with his partner Clodagh and their friend Nicole, started this brand because Sean and Clodagh's little girl actually suffered with really bad eczema. And while their story is one where they lived in emergency accommodation, the odds were against them, and they found the inspiration within themselves to start their own brand of skin-friendly, hypoallergenic baby clothes because, you know, what was on the market was just not affordable for them at the time. So they made one themselves. And I just find it so inspiring that they went ahead and you know, followed this dream of theirs for their little girl. It stems back from a story of love and a story of wanting better for their little girl. And now look at them. And I actually ordered from Sean for my own son, for my friends' kids. And the quality of the jammies is amazing. I'm like, when are you guys starting to make adult ones? But it's great. And, you know, not only are you buying ethically, you're buying just nice, honest clothes for your kid, you're also supporting Irish. And not only is it so affordable, but Sean has also very kindly given the community at Cosmic Conversations a discount code. So you can use code COSMIC10 at checkout on gooseygoo.ie for 10% off anything. That's COSMIC10, COSMIC10 at checkout on gooseygoo.ie for 10% off your order. Whether it's for your own kids, your friends' kids, a Christmas present, go ahead, make an order now. Maybe get something nice for Christmas. You will not be disappointed. Sinead Hegarty, welcome to Cosmic Conversations. I am so excited to have you on today.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be on here. I love your name for the podcast.
You know, those Cosmic Convos, and I'm the Cosmic Coach, so I just felt very very
I love
fitting.
it. It feels very magical.
Oh, thank you. I'm so excited to have you on. And I remember God, I'm following you years on my personal page. I remember when you were back living at home and you're putting up about your dad and his potatoes. And talking about everything that you were learning and your fascination with psychology books and meditation. It's just so it feels so full circle for me to be here with you today and talk to you about your journey and everything that you've been through has led you up until this incredible point in your life. So yeah, I'm so excited to chat to you.
Thank you. We had to go through it. We had to learn the lessons, and now we just fall into what we deserve.
Absolutely. But one of the first things, and I know I've already talked to you before we recorded, but I want to say congratulations on your pregnancy to you and Sam. It's so exciting.
Thank you
The
so
whole world
much.
is buzzing for you guys.
I know. I feel like the pregnancy was just kind of more people were so excited about the pregnancy compared to the engagement. You know what I mean? Because obviously
Yeah.
they probably knew how much I wanted to be a mom, and they knew how scared I was that I wouldn't be a mom. If you listen to my podcast, I wouldn't talk about it too much on my story, but on my podcast, I always talk about how much I wanted to carry a baby and how much I wished for it, and every 11:11 wish, every fountain, every visualization, meditation for years was that, so it was just so nice that it all came. I felt I knew it was going to come. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I felt even though people said it was going to be really difficult and all this stuff, something in me just felt it, I guess. Yeah.
I love the Sinead Says podcast. So yeah, I feel I know you so much from there, but it's been so lovely to like you said, follow along your journey. And I can imagine everyone being yay, she's pregnant, because you've been so open about your struggles with your health and and endo and all of that. And so I suppose like your story is also like such a message of hope for like any other woman that could be like going through something similar right now.
Yeah, I think like that's what I like when I first got diagnosed, like all I did like the wrong things. Like I went into forums and just seen all the negative, and just like the first thing I seen was like infertility, and the only cure is hysterectomy, and like blah blah. And I went into this like negative cycle myself. But then I remember like coming on my story and like telling people like, and then like everybody writing to me like, Sinead, I have stage 4, I have stage 3, like I have adenomyosis, I have endometriosis, and I have 4 beautiful babies, and I have 2. Like it was just like, oh my god, no, this is possible. Like it just opened up my field of possibilities then, and I was just like, no, this is possible. And like that allowed me to just just stay positive and hopeful through the whole thing. And it is so nice to bring that hope to the community as well, because before I got pregnant, I would watch the endo community. Like if someone got pregnant, I would be like, oh my god, like it would give me so much hope. So yeah, it is so nice to be like that little bit of hope for people as well.
Yeah, I think they're the stories that like you really need to like focus on if and when you're going through that. And like you mentioned there, like you had like that faith, like you kind of just knew intuitively, like I know I'm gonna get pregnant. And like I would love to ask you about that, because you have such a natural connection to like your spirituality, and you seem like so in tune to your intuition. And I'm wondering like, was Sinead always like that, or was there a time that things kind of changed and you started to like go inward and actually like look at yourself for the answers?
Yeah, like I feel like I only really started my spiritual journey when I was probably around the time that you're talking about, when I'm reading the books and doing all the stuff. I started my spiritual journey probably in 2018. So what's that? 8 years ago? Seven
Yeah.
years. Yeah. Um, and like I never knew that there was such thing as an intuition or your energy, or just your, what would you say, your, what do you call that? There's a name for it, but it's not baby brain. Like your inner guidance system. Yes, I
Yeah.
always like to follow my inner guidance system, and like
Yeah.
your body always says yes or no. Your mind always says yes or no. The answer's always within. Um. So yeah, I would say after that, like I really began my spiritual intuition energy, and it's crazy because like we all have the answers, and like it's so funny because people always write to me, Sinead, I'm thinking about doing this, I'm thinking about moving, I'm thinking about whatever, but I'm like, you know the answer. You asking me right now, you even know the answer asking me. You know which way your body and mind sways.
Yeah.
But something stops you. It's something like but like maybe like a limiting belief will stop you. Like, oh, I don't know if I should move to Bali, right? And it's just a limiting belief. If you're around people who have never worked remotely or expats or anything, you're not going to think that's possible. So like usually deep down, but like all these other factors, so like it's about removing them, I guess. I was in like, are you asking me, did I like, how did I feel like I was going to have a baby, or
I think all of it. I think like what you're describing is like that going like that sense of going inward and like knowing that you had the answers. And like it's so true even with the self-limiting beliefs. And what was coming into my mind there, funnily enough, is like it's so funny. It's like I think people, we naturally do that. We ask for like, oh, should I do this? Like, should I move? What should I do? We ask people for those answers, and it's so true. Like it's actually within us. And like I so often have like clients come to me for even coaching or just like a reading, and they'll be like, oh, like am I gonna do this? And I'm like, you already know. Like like your higher self, your intuition, whatever you want to call it, already knows. It's just maybe sometimes they need like that validation or that reassurance. But yeah, it's been so nice to like watch that and like even hear you say like how you've developed that. And like I wonder like, what is it like? Is it always one of those things that you can just tune into yourself, or do you ever have like those moments where like, there's a limiting belief there, and like what would that look like for you in terms of like working
I
through
feel
that?
like we always have limiting beliefs, no matter how spiritual we are, no matter how everything. There's always going to be, and I feel like every part of your journey, you come like you can go in, get rid of your limiting beliefs on one section of your life. You can come out the other side and have this, but then you're met with something else, and then you have to work on that limiting belief, and then like obviously as you grow, I feel like there is more and more things that I feel like I've went through limiting beliefs before, like, oh, I can't start my own business or whatever. And then you start your own business and you work through your limiting beliefs. And then you're like, oh, I can't charge this much for my business and blah, blah, blah. And you go through these and then you get through that. And then there's another one like, oh, I can't afford a house in Australia. And then you're like, right, okay. That's like
Yeah, it's
it's
so
like
true.
it's like a never ending limiting belief. Like there's no real,
The beauty of
I mean, I
life.
definitely think I get better. I think like as well, when you meditate and when you learn all these things about, you know, belief systems and possibility, like I definitely think I know. Like the other day I was like, look at that pink Porsche. It was like this like one of a kind pink Porsche. God, that'd be unreal to have a pink Porsche. And then I remember saying to my head, but if I wanted that, I could have that. Like there is way to make that much money if I want that. You know, whilst like the old me would have been like, oh, I would never be able to do that. Like nobody from my neck of the woods like can afford stuff like that. But like I know that if I put hard work in and I followed like a certain protocol that maybe someone else did, like, or put work in certain things, like you can get those things. It's just about removing those limiting beliefs, taking risks, taking chances, and you know, getting there. I do believe that like if we want something, we can get it for sure.
So true, yeah. And you even mentioned like how your beliefs evolve, and it's so true. Like even I remember like on your journey you'd always talk about how people were like, oh, like Sinead talking on her stories and she's just from down the road or whatever. And I remember that was like a big thing for you at the time to work through, and that was something that I went through then when I started to put myself out there in my business. And then it's so funny you mentioned like charging for your business. It's like there's always something, and I suppose that's the beauty of life, that's the process, and there's always something else to work through and look at and address. But I suppose it's the awareness, and there's power in just bringing awareness to it in itself and being like, hang on a minute, why can't I? You know, if someone else can have it, it's just showing me that it's possible. But you mentioned meditation there, and I'd love to hear when did you start meditating? Were you always like into meditation, or when did that journey start?
I started meditating around that time, so like 2018. Obviously the first few times you meditate is never an amazing experience, especially if you have ADHD, monkey mind, our generation just, you know, doesn't sit well with us for the first few weeks. But after, like, I think I was at a really desperate time in my life, and you know, I think people do find meditation when they're at a real desperate time, when their nervous system's really shocked. You know, if you ask a normal calm person who's never had an anxiety, like they probably have never meditated, like usually, because usually you find something like that to sort yourself out, right? So like I found it at a low point, and obviously after like doing it properly, like I was dipping in and out, trying different things like YouTube, blah blah blah, like not really learning how to do it properly, you know. And then like when I finally learned how to do it properly, I was just so blown away by the results of everything. Like I had insomnia, I had anxiety, like I felt like there was a point where I really wanted to go on medication because I just couldn't sleep. My heart was beating really fast, but obviously like I went through a really stressful time and I never actually calmed my nervous system down. So obviously after consistently meditating for, I would say like it took me like 3 months to get to that point of like, wow, this is really working. And I was like, I can't believe that, first of all, this doesn't cost any money. You know, like, yeah, you can go get a teacher and you can do loads of things, but you can do it for free if you want as well. And it is something that you can do for yourself that will, the research shows so much, and the research comes out more like every single day. We get a new research project from neuroscience about the effects of meditation on the brain, and you know, the facts are there. It helps with your anxiety, it helps with your sleep quality, helps with your relationships, helps with your overall limiting beliefs. It's literally like a superpower, and it's available for us, for every single person. But the only thing about meditation for me when I first started is like, you know, it's not packaged nice. Like, you know, people when they first hear about it are like, well, you sit down with your thoughts and you sing kumbaya and like whatever. Like, you know, it's taught in very old traditional ways. Like there is different types of meditations for your practice, and I feel like that was my purpose, was to bring something so outdated and something that didn't seem nice and pretty, to make it pretty and to make it nice and to make it accessible and exciting and fun. Because, you know, meditation isn't just sitting down with your thoughts. Like you can sit and visualize your life. You can, you know, do your chakras, do your body. Like there's so many different things. As long as you're pointed on one thing, like that is the definition of meditation. So you just have to create a better, you know, story about it. And then like that's obviously my passion now, because I just want to scream it. And like when you're a teacher and you're in your practice, or you go to lectures or whatever about new meditation research, you're just like, this is the answer to everything in mankind. If every single person learned this at the young age, things would be very, very different in the world. And it's just like, it's a pity that we just don't have a way, because people are like, even like teachers and stuff, they're like, Sinead, we're implementing skills. And I'm like, yeah, but we need to implement it properly. Like, you need to understand it just as much as they understand it. You can't just put on a YouTube meditation and just let them sit there. You know, you have to like tell them the reasons why it's so good for you, because that's, and like those things will keep you going. But yeah, I could speak about meditation all day, and you could ask me anything about it at all. Like, I literally could just talk about it all day. Like,
I'm curious to know actually what kind of meditations are you being more drawn to during your pregnancy? Because I know you mentioned like there's lots of different types. Is there different ones that you're like more into at different stages of your life?
I've tried loads of pregnancy meditations, like talking to my baby, love and kindness, like sending love and energy to your baby. I like to just play the meditations out loud as well, so like obviously not in your earphones, so the baby can hear, and the baby's always moving. So I'm like, oh my God, I need to have this baby, you know, in a good mood with meditation, so that we can just put on a meditation and the baby will just chill.
I love that.
But yeah, like I feel like I'm more concentrated on like regulation, breathing, positivity, like trying to keep everything positive. Like your first trimester is literally just absolutely fucking surviving. And it really is just taking a minute to just fucking breathe. But yeah, no, I'm mostly drawn to like right now, just like nervous system, positivity, gratitude. And also like I'm still in my like a business savvy like limiting belief stage, where like, you know, we're doing a course or we're doing a meditation challenge at the minute in the app, and it's like it's all about like that of course energy. Like, of course we deserve it, because sometimes we'd be like, oh, they're so nice to us, but of course they're nice to us, of
Oh
course
wow,
this
that's
happens
such
to
a good
us.
perspective. I love that.
Yeah, so it's like we're doing like a whole like energy of like, no, like we deserve that. We of course all these things are happening to us because we're a good person, and you know, changing our karma, like being a good person, deserving it. So like I just love stuff like that, like really empowering like women, business.
Yeah.
Like I love stuff like that.
Oh, that sounds so lovely. That's actually a really cool idea. I've never even considered, like, of course, someone would be nice to me. Of course, you know, you got pregnant. Of course, my business did this well. Like, it's such a lovely thing to like actually consider. And you mentioned the app there, the Brave Way, and I'd love to. I know you kind of mentioned your passion and your connection to meditation and how you're passionate about people like really understanding it. But like, would people find these types of meditations in the Brave Way? And like, I'd love to hear like your mission and your vision behind it.
Yeah, well, the Brave Way is like, I'm just like right now when
Your
I'm
first
pregnant as
baby.
well, because I'm obviously like a creative powerhouse at the minute, because first of all, I'm sober. So there's not really much going on at the weekends as a pregnant person. So like there's just so much more creative energy. Well, in second trimester. So yeah, we're like, we just have loads of different sections. So we have like that empire energy, we have anxiety, we have sleep, we have self-love, we have manifesting. It's just about like for me, and it's funny now because now that I'm being diagnosed with ADHD, like I think, oh my God, okay, do I create these for someone that has ADHD? Because I always needed in my practice like something new, something fresh. Like I loved having a new meditation each day to work on something new inside me. I never really went well with, you know, going and doing the same meditation most days, or I never went well like just breathing or just concentrating on my breath. Like that really, I didn't like that. It could be something to do with ADHD, but I like to produce a new meditation like most days. So that's what this is what the platform's all about. It's about complete variation and having something new to work on each and every day. So like I think we've got like 100 meditations in there now, and they just
Wow.
yeah, they just keep coming. They're just coming out of me. Like they're
Creative
just
flow, and I love that you're birthing new life, and you're all your
yeah, it's
vibrations,
just
your sacral energy is like, I love that.
yeah. And it's
Oh,
good. Like there's loads of accountability in there. Like we have challenges every single month. So people come on, they do a 7-day, 10-day challenge. We've got book club. We've got just more like community things. We've got meditation trackers, everything. It's just something that I always wanted in a meditation
yeah,
app.
yeah,
Like,
something that you want in
so
fact, yeah.
Yeah, and that's what we do, don't we? We just look for
Yeah,
our
we
younger
create, yeah.
selves and we give them what they want.
That's so true.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And like it's so cute. You mentioned like playing the meditations out loud, like, and I'm like obviously like, I'm very spiritual, very woo. And I know you're quite spiritual yourself, and I always feel like with every pregnancy there's like a gift. So like I feel like with my son, like my first pregnancy, it was like, oh, like boundaries and being able to say no and like learning like what my boundaries were. And then my second pregnancy, which I had a miscarriage in April, and that one was like, I feel like that was like really to my intuition, and like that baby really helped me like connect to my intuition. And so like you mentioning like the meditation, like I wonder like if this baby's bringing gifts, like it could be that creative flow and the meditation, and then they're gonna grow up and like be meditating with you, and it's gonna just feel so lovely. And like you
I
said, it's just
know, but I don't know, boys.
I know. Boys are
Boys are
great though.
different.
Boys are great. Oh my god, little
Did
mommy's boy.
you did you like have like intuition that you knew you were gonna have a boy or
Yeah, yeah. So
yeah.
my first pregnancy, I knew it was a boy, and my partner was like, it's a girl, it's a girl, and we never found out. And I like so we're in the hospital, and I had him. I was like, I knew it was a boy. Like I wasn't in shock. My partner was in shock. Um, but yeah, I just had that intuition. And I think like it's so interesting that you mentioned like the meditation, because like it's not just when you're meditating, it really is like a way of life. And like you say, like it gives you that awareness to check in with your limiting beliefs and be like, oh well, why not? And then it trickles into your parenting style, because like even so much of what you do is parenting, and like regulating a small child is like it's meditative, and like okay, just like helping them ground, like focus on their breath or whatever it might be. And like, do you think like everything that you've learned will be like something that you'll take into your parenting journey, you and Sam?
Yeah, like I am so excited to parent. Like I feel I've felt ready now for like a long time, and I'm just like I just feel so excited to just everything that I've learned and everything that was maybe missing in my childhood in terms of like emotional awareness and understanding myself. Like, I mean, I don't know, will my little boy listen to me? I don't know, but hopefully he will, and I'll be able to understand, because I think of all the books that I've read, all the courses I've done on like emotional regulation and just understanding your emotions in general and stuff that I never learned,
Yeah.
understanding anger and hurt and all these things just never ever was taught to me until I was older. And then I was like, oh my God, like my mind is blown. So like he's gonna obviously learn that for such a young age. So I'm like, God, I wonder how he's gonna like, is he gonna be
Yeah.
so emotionally aware? Is he gonna be like, oh my God, my mom's a woo woo? Do you know what I mean? Is he gonna be like, God,
I'm sure,
she's so
yeah.
annoying?
But it's like it's
Like,
almost like when they grow up with that though, it's like they're normal. Do you know what I mean? Like I can't wait to see that generation who've like maybe been taught
yeah.
meditation or emotional regulation, or even just tuning into your intuition. Does that feel good for you, or does it not feel good for you? Like I can't wait to see the adults that they become. And also like for us, like, and I know you mentioned like even our own parents and kind of that like generation, like they just weren't taught that, like, and they can't teach us something that they didn't know. And so it's so much to take on and teach yourself, and then even to pass on to a child. And like even firsthand, I'll say like they are your biggest mirror. Like children are your biggest mirror, because you're like, oh my god. And it's so true. They say like children don't do as you say, they do as you do. And so like if you're practicing, if you're allowing yourself to regulate, if you're having an off day and saying whatever, like mommy's having big feelings, like they learn to be like, oh, so this isn't about me, it's my, it's mommy's big feelings, and all of that. So I'm excited to like watch you on that journey, because I think you'll be an incredible mother. Like you already are. Like even that you're reading the book you wish your parents read. Like it's really like it gives such like a selfless thing to be like, I want to be the best mother that I can be. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh my
Yeah.
God, I love that book as well. I'm like, oh my God, it's because obviously when you learn to psychology for yourself and for others and for, I would say like my niche on psychology is like my age group and like relationships, and I love diving into that. So like now I'm like, oh my God, how, and I feel like every book that I've read, I'm like, okay, I'm doing another course, I'm repeating the same thing, but I'm like, okay, children's psychology. Okay,
Ooh, yeah.
this is juicy. I am like, yeah, this is good. And there's some
It's so,
things in that book as well that I was like really, I was like, oh wow, this is gonna be hard. This is
yeah.
gonna be, yeah, there's so many things that I obviously thought were normal, and like in the book, it describes certain things that are, not so healthy. Like one thing that I would always do with like my niece and stuff would be like distract them whenever they're annoyed or whenever there's, And that's really not good for them and their attention span, to like distract them with something like shiny and new and like a new toy or whatever. Like you're meant to like be like feel their feelings instead of
Validate.
distracting their feelings. And I'm like, God, I do a lot of that
Yeah.
when I'm with children. If they're like screaming and crying, I'll like start singing a song. And I
I
should,
know, it's so true. It's like, and I actually spoke with that before. It's like that. Like if a child's having a tantrum, it's like, oh no, 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 distract, distract, distract. It's like, oh, let's sing it. Oh, you're okay. You're fine. You're fine. Like telling them that they're okay, and it's like, if you're told from such a small age to ignore this emotion, to ignore this, like that this process is coming up in your body that needs to be felt, seen, heard, whatever it is, and then we grow up as adults and we're wondering like, oh, I have anxiety or I'm feeling, because we weren't taught how to like just allow the emotion to have space. And so one thing I'm like at my son, you know, if he gets angry, like kids get frustrated over the smallest things. And like, I'm like, okay, like you can stomp your feet on the ground, you can't hit people, you can hit the couch, you can hit the pillow, whatever it is. And then like that at the drop of a hat, like a minute later, they're fine, they're regulated and they want a snack. And you're like,
yeah.
whereas like when we get older, it's like we hold on to it for the whole day. It's like,
Yeah.
it's really
And like in
fascinating.
the book that she just says like, all you got to say is like, I know you wanted to sit in that seat. And it's like you hear that
Yeah,
you just tell them that you can see. I know you wanted to sit in that seat, but someone else is sitting in that seat now.
yeah,
And then like it's not about like scolding them or whatever. It's just like
yeah,
hearing why
yeah,
they're frustrated. I know that's frustrating for you because that's your favorite seat.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
It's
like
so
telling them that,
true.
I'm like, God, I don't know if you have to have the patience for that, don't you?
Yeah,
Because
you will,
like
you will. And
but
like
I'm really
sometimes like,
soft. I'll be so soft. Like Sam is so strict, and he's
okay,
like even when he's teaching me something, or like he's like, okay, now where does this go, and what does this do? And like he likes me to earn things, and he wants to, and he always grew up like earning, like you know, going out and money and whatever. And like I'm very like, don't tell your dad.
uh,
Here's some money. I'm gonna be like I just know I'm gonna be so
especially
soft.
with a boy, girl, he's gonna have you wrapped around his finger in the best way. Like you're going
Oh,
to
I
be
can't
just
wait.
like, yeah, it's gonna be the best. But no, it sounds like you're both really preparing yourself for parenthood, and it's just one of those things. Like you'll read the books, you'll listen to the podcast, and then it's like you just actually get into doing it, and you're like, okay, we're just doing this now. We're just winging this. But for the first while, anyways, you have a handy because there's no tantrums for a little while, and anyways,
Yeah, it's all cuddles.
yes. You're just, I'm so jealous. The newborn girls are just the best. Like, oh my god, I'm just thinking about it here. I'm like, ah. But I suppose I did want to touch off. I know we're talking about a really nice, happy conversation now. But if you're okay, I'd love to talk to you about like your experience before this pregnancy and like being pregnant before, because it's something that I've spoke about as well on this platform. And again, I just think it's nice for people to have that awareness. And also, like, so many women go through like miscarriage. Like the statistics is like wild, and I think it's like it's so weird how it's one of those things that people just don't talk about. And like I really like respected when you came out and spoke about that, because like when you and Sam shared that story, it was like you never know what someone's actually going through, and like how
I
like the
know.
journey, yeah, how it's been like.
And like it actually was so hard for me not to share the experience like as soon as it happened, because I'm so used to sharing everything. And also like I felt so strange like being on but then also taking a break, but also not telling people why I was taking a break and like the stuff that was happening, like, but like you know, Sam didn't want the pressure of like everyone knowing that we were trying. And then I'm so glad now that we didn't actually share until like we got pregnant again. um but yeah, no, the whole experience, like what you said, the statistics, like when I was going through it, I thought I was like, this is the worst thing in the world. Like I'm losing a baby.
Yeah,
But it's weird, like the experience that you have when you go to the hospital when you're going through it, because everyone's like lackadaisically, because it's so common, right? People are coming
yeah,
in all the time with this situation. I was like, oh my God, this is the worst thing ever. And they're like, right, okay, like, you know, like they just putting you down and like it's not really a big deal. I was like, oh my God, this is such a big deal. Like, you know, I felt like really alone then. But then obviously like, and then at that point as well, you haven't really told anyone. Like two people or three people knew. And you know, I had no one to call, or like because I was at home when it happened. My friends that knew were in Australia, and I was just like, I didn't know where to go or what
yeah,
to do. That's why I said in my podcast, like, please do not go to A&E. Like I went to A&E and sat
yeah.
on the chair for 12 hours, and
That's
they
bizarre.
sent me somewhere else. Then they sent me to the maternity ward. People coming in and out with babies. You're sitting there bleeding, and then like you know, it's the whole experience. And I wish someone told me, you know, Sinead, this is the steps, go here, do this. I didn't really have that because it was so early on. You haven't seen a midwife yet, so you don't have any information of where to go, how to feel, or whatever. Um, but yeah, like it's such a weird experience. And again, as I said before, the second time you get pregnant, you know, you have such a different experience. Like you're not really like the first time you see a positive pregnancy test, for me, I was like, we're parents, you know, like we're gonna have a baby in our hands. Like you're just, it's just like it's happening, you know. And then like the second time you get pregnant, you don't feel like a parent for a very long time. Like I'm only really starting to feel like now that I'm 25 weeks, because like the baby's wriggling around and he's so close now. So I just, it feels a bit more real now. But it took me so long. I didn't feel. I used to be like, even though I told people, I was like, still early though, you know. It was really hard to like tell people, and even for them, like they were obviously worried, and like there's a different enthusiasm, and that you also feel guilt for, because you didn't have the same enthusiasm as the first baby. But I don't know how you felt, but I'm sure you
No.
probably felt something similar,
Yeah,
because this
I
was your
feel like,
second. You have a child, and then you had a miscarriage. Did you say?
yeah, and like, and it's so interesting that you say like you don't know what to do, because even though I had a baby, I still didn't know what to do. I was like that. I was like, okay, like the sky is falling. I'm losing my baby. Like the world needs to stop. Like what's going on? And it's just like I remember I rang the hospital, and they were like, yeah, just take paracetamol. If it gets really bad, if you get dizzy, come in. And I was like, is that it? Like what? Like,
Yeah.
this is crazy. Like, and I didn't expect, like, obviously, like, the pain and everything that I went through. And I can imagine how that was for you, like, not having Sam, like, with you. Like, and I imagine that was so stressful for him as well. He probably just wanted to be by your side. Like, um, and it's such a weird thing. It's like, you almost expect them to be like, this is what you have to do. This is what you're going to feel. And like I remember even like afterwards, like ChatGPTing, like, is it normal to still feel like really emotional? Is it normal to still be bleeding? All these things. Because you don't freaking know. And like nobody really talks about the aftermath of like you have to then test for a few weeks after and make sure everything is gone, and some people have to go in and have like things done to remove all of the birth matter or the pregnancy matter. So it's a lot, like, and like that, it's just really weird to me that there's not anything online to be like, this is what you do. So I remember even going on TikTok and just looking up, like typing in miscarriage and watching videos, just to be like, I just wanted that comfort of being like, someone else is going through this. Like, and I remember when you put up your podcast then announcing like the pregnancy, and you spoke about your experience with miscarriage. I remember like I was so emotional listening to it in a good way, because it brought up like emotions for me to be like, oh, like in a way, like it's normal. Like there's like comfort in that sense of like community. Like, oh my god, like someone else has felt like their world
Yeah.
ended for a little while. Do you know what I mean? And then that happy story of like, now we're pregnant again, and like, you know, and it can be have a happy ending. I think that's like the big message. But obviously, like it's important to acknowledge that it does feel like it just does feel like the world needs to stop for a little while when you go through that. You know?
Yeah. And like when I remember like going into my friend's house, and I hadn't told them that I was pregnant yet, but I was going in, I just rang them and told them that I was in the hospital or whatever. And then I went down to their house, and like me and my three friends were there, and they all told me that they had miscarriages as well. And I was like, why did you not tell me?
Yeah.
Like they all had different types of miscarriages, like atopic, and
Yeah.
one was longer than the other, and like all these things that. And then it made me feel like, right, okay, because when it first happened, like when it first happened to me, I was like, and I actually had an experience where I was working with a naturopath, and she actually, I don't know, she said something really shitty, basically about, you know, you're not going to get pregnant, basically, or you're going to have a lot of trouble. And I'm like, that sat with me. And then
Yeah.
when that happened, I was like, I am going to have a lot of trouble. This is what's going to happen. Like, I'm going to get, like,
No.
am I going to get the baby to full term? Like, and I had all these negative thoughts. But then when I spoke to other people and they had all been through it, I was like, right, okay, no, it's very common for this to happen. And then it's also very common for people to have healthy, normal babies after. So
Yeah.
it's like, okay, that's it kind of took away that, like, oh my god, something's wrong with me. Because also going into my second pregnancy, so like trying to conceive with that attitude wasn't, like,
No.
without knowing that my friends, and that it's common, and that these things kind of just happen sometimes. Like, it did really help me in my mindset, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. And like you said, like it's actually like mad when you realize how many people around you have experienced and gone through. But in a way, it's like we don't talk about it, but maybe people are starting to now. And like with your platform and even just like sharing your story, it's so I just think it's really really important just for anyone listening,
Yeah.
that they're not alone. But I'm curious, like in terms of like your spiritual side, like I know for me, like at that time, I was very in my human emotions. I had to just feel the feels. I was like, to the angels, universe. I was like, why is this happening to me? Like, oh my God. But hindsight now has given me like, I am very at peace with like divine timing. It'll happen when the timing is right. That baby will come back, or whatever it is. And like, I'm curious to hear like, what is your higher self's perspective on this now, and where you're at now?
Isn't like the miscarriage of like, because obviously it is, people
Yeah,
will be
like
like,
your
oh well,
journey.
why do you have all this, yeah, because people will be like, why do you think that happened if like
Yeah.
you're into manifesting or you're into this or whatever. And like
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, it like when it happened, it also makes you appreciate like obviously getting pregnant, staying pregnant. And then like for me, I thought that the first baby, I felt like intuitionally that the baby was a girl. And then I remember just like, I just remember thinking like it's definitely a girl, but it's so weird because I always visualized having a boy first. And like I've had a few like visualizations in breath work of this curly haired blonde boy.
Oh,
But
my son has curly blonde hair as well.
oh, does he? No
Yeah,
way.
yeah. Oh my God.
But that's what I just had this like vision like once when I went to like breath work, and it was like around the time that me and Sam, like he was he was wanting to get back together with me, like after a few
Mhm.
years I was going, oh God, no, I don't want to look after a man anymore. I don't know if I want this. But obviously he was just such a good person, and he was like, like, let's try it. And I was kind of like, I need to be single, I can't with this. And then I went to like a breathwork class, and in the breathwork class, like I was trying to decide, oh my God, am I going to try it with Sam? Like, I don't know. And like in the breathwork, like this curly haired blonde little boy, and I was just like,
God.
well, that's my boy, that's my son.
That's
And
our son.
okay, that's it, that's my
Oh.
sign. But obviously as well, it's your inner conscious, right? I knew really,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
knew that I wanted to be with Sam, but I was just like trying to like block it out, I guess. And then like I felt like at the time, like when I got pregnant the first time, I was like, all I could see was a little girl, but like, it was just like, what, how is this a girl? But anyway, I just felt like a girl. And then I remember like being so upset, but also like, in your spiritual practice, I'm sure as well, like if you're following the rules of spirituality, like you have to understand that everything does happen for you to learn something, and for you to um yeah, just learn something on your way, and to not like really dwell on those things.
Hmm.
And like one thing that I'm really good at is accepting the moment as it is, because anything not accepting is resisting, and that is suffering. So we
Hmm.
just had to accept. Obviously we grieve, we were so like especially as a woman, you're just so upset that your baby, you can't hold the baby, and then you have all these thoughts like, what if I can't? And like, and then like I remember like not getting out of my pajamas for a few days and just crying. And then this big pink sunrise, like like it was actually, I actually put a video up, it was like the first video put up, and I was like, me and my dad, we went out for the sunrise, and I was just like, that's just like my little girl saying
Oh,
bye. And she just came to, but like she came to teach something, or teach, or make somebody feel heard. Like you probably felt heard. There's so many little things
yeah.
that like, even me, that happened to me, that maybe helps somebody else understand
Yeah.
what's going on with them. And also like I did talk about in the podcast, like I had a thing called PID after, and I like spoke about that in my podcast, and I said like, look, if you have any of these symptoms, that's something as well that is so dangerous if it's not caught straight away, because it can make you completely sterile.
Yeah.
um and like things like that, like I would find peace and stuff like that, be like, right, I had to have that, so that I had to speak about that in the podcast. Somebody else will stop
Yeah,
themselves
for
from
sure.
having that. Like, it's more like, I mean, I'm always finding ways to make peace with the situation, and I feel like
Yeah,
that is the spiritual way.
it is.
Always,
Yeah.
it's like God or whatever, like,
Hmm.
there's something for. It's hard though, it's hard to find
Hmm.
that, and you have to just
Yeah.
like to just accept the situation.
Hmm.
But then like as soon as I got pregnant with the second one, um yeah, it was just weird. I was like, it's a boy straight
Oh
away.
my God, So
So
cute. And
weird, isn't
I
it?
remember you were having a moment, was it like you didn't want to find out and Sam did? Or
No, Sam didn't want to find
Sam
out.
didn't and you did. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got
He
you
was
right.
like, yeah. He was like, look, it's your body, it's your thing. And I'm just
Yeah.
like for me, I find it very, like, I think the miscarriage made me not be able to connect. Like the first baby, I was like,
Yeah.
it's a girl. I could, like, I was like visualizing myself with the baby
Yeah.
and like feeling into it. But then as soon as I got pregnant this time, like, I felt so unconnected because I felt so
Yeah.
afraid and I
Okay.
didn't want to connect because I
Mhm.
didn't want to get upset. So then I felt like the baby shower or the baby or like us finding out the gender like was a way of me connecting and like
Yeah.
it was. So the day that we found out was my birthday
Oh.
and that was the other baby's due date, which was my birthday, and we decided to find out if it was a boy or girl on my birthday on that day.
Oh my
So it
God.
was just like a and like Sam was like, because I was like, oh, I'm probably gonna be so sad on my birthday because I'm gonna think about that, and he was like, well, let's find out on your birthday, and it was kind of like a
That
nice
was such a
little
lovely idea. That's like literally the universe saying to you, like, divine timing. Like, it's happening now.
yeah.
Like,
And
and
it's so weird because like both babies are have such weird like prompt dates. Like my birthday was the last baby, and then this date is Christmas Day. I'm
yeah,
like,
oh my
what's
God, they're
going
picking
on?
the dates. They're like, Christmas Day. Oh my God. So, like, what's like planning and preparation looking like for Christmas then for you guys? Because I know obviously you're in Australia and you've got like such a good like support network around you. So you could be having a baby on Christmas Day.
I know. I think it's gonna come on Christmas Eve though. I have a feeling it's gonna come. There's
The
two
best
dates in my mind:
present.
18th or the 24th. That's what I'm
Okay.
hoping to become before. But
Everyone will be
um
watching your Instagram like, she's gone quiet.
I know I'll be like, I'm still here, guys. But yeah, I feel like yeah, Christmas is going to be a hard one to plan. Like usually we host it, so I would say like Gemma will probably host, and we're just going to hope to be there. I said it would be so fun if I like gave birth and didn't tell anybody, and then came in
Could you
like
imagine?
Lion King.
Yeah.
I was like, "Wah."
Oh my God. And I'm guessing you don't have to get Sam a present because this is the best present you're ever going to give him.
True,
I'm giving you
true,
life.
true. Yeah, I'm giving you life.
Oh my
Uh,
God, that's so exciting. And like, how are you feeling about like obviously like your family are here, so and you're having a baby, like and like I know like you guys will FaceTime and stuff, but how is your parents feeling? Like are they obviously like so excited? This is their first time being grandparents, is it?
no, we have a little I have a little niece as
Oh,
well.
you've been oh
So their
okay.
first grandson.
Oh my
So,
God.
but
First
for Sam's parents, it's a first grandbaby, so he's going to be very spoiled.
oh my God.
But yeah, it is such a bittersweet thing living away, honestly. And I say to Sam, like, you just never know what's going to happen. That like maybe we might need the support when we go. Because I remember at the start, I was like, I was really sick, and the doctor was like, "Oh my God, your HCG is so high, it could be twins." And I was like, "Oh my God!" And then I go to Sam, if it's twins, we're moving home because come on, there's no
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
um. So yeah, I feel like it's such a bittersweet. Even telling them it's bittersweet because you know that they would want to be massively part of his life, but I don't know. Like I think like we never know. Like I feel very blessed. I'm home. I went home 3 times last year, but
Yeah. No.
yeah, and I'm so lucky and blessed that I have that freedom. Sam doesn't have as much freedom as me, which is probably are going to be as our most difficult thing when it comes to like what we're going to do.
Yeah.
Like because I'm still wanting to travel with the baby and whatever, and like he
Absolutely.
obviously wants to as well, but he's got a less freedom. But like Sam's parents, like they're so good. Like Sam's mom's gonna come out for like 3 months. Like
Oh,
she's
that's
just gonna come out. She's
amazing.
just like they're so excited. Like it's just so cute.
Oh.
And she's taken time off. I think she's gonna take time off work, and like she's really gonna like she's always wanted to move to Australia. So this is a great little tester for her. That would
Yeah.
be lovely to have a little nanny.
Oh my
But yeah,
God.
it's just bittersweet. But I'm just hoping mom and dad retire soon. They can spend like more than 3 weeks with us, because Christmas at home for my mum and dad isn't, there's just them two. So
Yeah,
like it's
yeah.
so much nicer for them to like have something and like hopefully me and Sam will have a house in
Hmm.
the near future one day. We
Yeah.
move up the coast and we'll have more room for everybody to come up.
You'll have
So
a little beach
yeah,
baby out on his surfboard.
I know.
Oh my
With me
God.
curly blonde hair.
I know. Oh, that's gonna be so amazing. Oh, that's incredible. I wanted to ask you as well, something else that's like really in my mind is like, what is like So you've obviously read so many books and you're so into your psychology and your self-development, and like you can just hear like even the way you talk and being able to like bring yourself into that place of like, is this a limiting belief, and the like all like the resilience and strength that meditation has given you. Um, what is like one book that if someone was like, okay, what book do I need to read? What's like one book that would jump into your mind that you'd be like, you need to read this? Because I've gotten so many of my book recommendations from you, and they've all been like so good.
Um, right, okay. I don't know. It depends, obviously, the situation. But like things that have made an impact in my life in terms of psychology or like lifestyle. You know, I think like one of the books that absolutely 100% changed my life is Lost Connections, which I don't know if you've read, but um,
Best
it's
believe I'm
the
getting it after this.
yeah, but it's actually just like it's like more like niche to the situation for me was it's the causes and solutions of anxiety and depression, but the research is just very good, and he's like one of my favorite researchers, and like that experience of knowing the causes and solutions of anxiety and depression, whether it be for me, whether it be for someone else, like having all those solutions, like if it's not one solution, it's another, and like it was just like something that, you know, when I was going through anxiety, which I probably maybe had a touch of depression at the time too, um like I thought that you just have that and you're just sick, right? And you
Yeah.
just like you just take tablets. When I read that book, I was like, no, there's so much lifestyle changes that I need to make. Like I had such a lack of connection in my life. Like I wasn't making connections. I was on my phone making connections, not the same. You know, things like that. Like there were so many little small things that I was like, right, okay, if I feel like this is how I change it. If I feel like this is how I change it. And that for me helped me so much, and also like helped me understand other people as well. So if someone's going through a hard time, I'm like, right, here is all the solutions that I have for you. Let's go one by one and make these lifestyle changes for you. And then if they don't work, then be my guest. You go to the doctor, do your bits, whatever. But yeah, no, I feel like everyone needs to read that book, because at one point in our life we are going to face anxiety or someone else that has anxiety. So
It's
yeah.
so true, yeah. And like you mentioned, like in this world, like we're all just so disconnected from each other.
Yeah.
And I was actually like I was thinking in my head there, like because I know you mentioned like you recently got your ADHD diagnosis, and like your fascination with like psychology and self-improvement. And I know they say that like women can like suppress or mask ADHD like more so than men, so
Mm.
it's more undetected. Do you think like your like fascination or like what was drawing you in was like, were you like, I need to like fix myself, like what's, and maybe the missing piece is like you didn't know you had ADHD. I'm just
Yeah.
curious, like who's coming from, I'm like, I just want to ask you that.
Yeah, it's funny because obviously, like, when obviously you have to speak to this, like, when I speak to my psychiatrist about it, and you know, like, I would be like, look, it's so difficult for me to understand because I forget the smallest details, but I could tell you what's in every single book that I've read, and I can relay information about psychology so easily, and it's like I can break it down in my brain as soon as I read it, and it stays there forever. But
Yeah.
like, you asked me about this call today, and I forgot it. You know, it's like it's so weird. But he was like, it's just like you have a hyperfixation, and I think my hyperfixation was psychology, because I just couldn't believe that these things existed, like tools that you can manage and understand yourself. Like I get so excited whenever someone's like, Sinead, I did this, like how do I, and I'm like, sit down. Like I'm
Yeah.
obsessed with people understanding themselves and like me understanding myself. And it's all about that's like if I'm reading something, I'm like, oh my God, there's something new and something I didn't know about myself and something that can help others. Like it's like my whole body just fucking lights up,
Yeah.
you know,
It's
and I'm
like
sure
the
you have
awareness.
your own profession as well that you think that
Yeah.
your whole body lights up, and it's like it's just like an obsession. But
Yeah.
yeah, but I forget everything else in the whole world. But
Yeah. And I
psychology books,
really,
I'm not even joking. I can tell you now what things are highlighted and what color. Like if you say, Sinead, tell me about the emotion of hurt, I'd be like yellow, and it highlighted this book. This like it's so
oh
strange. I
my
don't
God,
know.
that's like a photographic
So
memory.
weird. I'm
Yeah.
like, and it's so easy. Like what I love about podcasts, or like people chatting to me or asking for advice, because I'm like, I can use everything that I've learned, and I don't forget
Yeah.
all those little
Yeah.
things, but I
Yeah.
forget everything else. I don't
It's
know.
hard, you know, but like I suppose like we all have like our niches, and like that's obviously part of your, you know, your bigger picture, your purpose, your mission. And like I totally resonate with that. Like when you learn something new about yourself, you're like, oh my God, I need to tell people. I need to tell people this is gonna help someone. Like, so I can totally resonate with that. It's like when you learn something, integrate it, and you're like, oh my God, I did not know this about my own brain. And like
Yeah.
I imagine like getting the ADHD diagnosis was like learning something about your own brain that you maybe like didn't realize. And like I'd love to hear like what was that like for you, because I imagine it was probably a bit freeing in a way to be like, yes, you have ADHD.
Yeah. And like, I think I've known for about 5 years that I definitely have it, but like, obviously, there's a lot of barriers to get it,
Mm-hmm.
the diagnosis. And like, if someone has ADHD, anything that like has barriers like that, it takes so long to even go there. But I think like being a mom was like something that I knew I just did not want to let my children down. And I knew that like I'd let people down all the time, like with my ADHD, and everyone's like, that's just Sinead. And when they accept me, it's lovely. And they're like, that's just Sinead. We don't trust her to do that. We're just going to do that ourselves. And like, I love that they accept me for that, but
Yeah.
I don't want to be like that for my children. I don't want to, especially now, like now that I spoke to, I can't take the medication yet, but the psychiatrist is like, this is just going to completely change your entire life. Like, I don't think you know how much this is going to like change your life.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and like it's like for me as well, like living with Sam, and obviously he just can't understand some of the things. Like at the start, he would be like, "What do you mean you forgot your passport? We needed the passport for the fucking form." And I'm like, "What do you mean you don't forget it? Do you just not forget
Yeah.
things?" And he's like, "No." And I'm like, "All right, okay." So yeah, like I think even living with someone who's so, I mean, he probably has something as well, but like he's very neuro typical. Is that
Typical.
right? Is that the other? Yeah. So he like living with him is was very confronting for me because he was like,
Yeah.
"What do you mean? Like you just didn't do that?" And I'm like, "Oh, because there's no way my brain would have remembered that. Like it was such a natural
Yeah.
process for me." And then yeah, I just really yeah, it was actually really upsetting getting diagnosed, even though I knew, and I wanted to do it for my kids and get the medication and be better,
Mm-hmm.
and for my business as well, because I let people down in my business too, because like it's really frustrating for my like people who work for me, and I'm like, oh, forgot to do something, and they have to catch up, or it's frustrating. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I found it really upsetting because I felt really failed by everything else in my life. Like
Yeah.
I felt like I had a really hard time in school. I was really smart, but I was failed in so many ways with teachers. Like teachers, a lot of them hated me, right? Because I couldn't pay attention and I didn't have any homework,
Mm-hmm.
but I was always smart. So like it was like, haha, fuck you at the end. Like
Yeah.
when
It
I
was
get
so
my results, like
rewarding.
it was kind of like, I don't know, but
I know it's
I did
highlighted
feel,
in pink in this part of the book.
yeah. And like you don't know my ability to cram things in. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so it was very free, and I just made me really sad for like the younger version of me, because I'm like, imagine she had, but also I guess ADHD is the reason I am where I am. Like the
Yeah.
ideas and the creativity and the bouncing of thoughts obviously
Yeah.
helps with that, I
For
guess.
sure.
But yeah, I'm excited. I can't wait to take the meds.
Yeah, oh my God, you'll have to update us now on how all that is. But like you
Can't
said,
wait.
it gave you that like that hyperfixation to like go into self-development, like probably like one of the greatest things you could hyperfixate on. And now like your whole journey, like you never know, maybe you were meant to fall in love with meditation first, and then like and obviously like adapt the psychology and go through so much, and then get the diagnosis and be like, oh, okay. Because I imagine like one of the things, I'm not sure how they tell you to like manage and stuff, but I imagine meditation is really beneficial for people who, I imagine challenging for people with ADHD, but also really like beneficial.
Brain, yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, as well, like people be like, I can't meditate, I've got ADHD, and I've always known, but I've never wanted to be one of those people who was undiagnosed talking
Mm-hmm.
about how to manage it or whatever. So I always wanted to like get the diagnosis before I talked about those things, and I've learned, like all the like managing people with trauma and ADHD and PTSD,
Mm-hmm.
like managing all those types of people into their meditation practice, and it is possible for a lot of people to do a lot of different types of meditations, and there always is like different types. Like usually, someone will be like, oh, I've got PTSD and I can't, and I'm like, well, no, well, this is the information here. Like I can actually maybe guide you through this, and there's different ways. So like it's nice. But one thing that really was mad for me was I had to go to like one of my other teachers, and like I was really struggling with the fact that I teach meditation and I scream it from the rooftops. My brain's different than everyone else's. So does it really benefit more people? Do you know? And he was like, no, Sinead, no. Cause I was like, oh my God, like I'm screaming at people to do this and help this. And it helps me because it calms my brain because I've got ADHD. So like, what are they feeling? I don't know what they're feeling. And he's like, Sinead, they feel this just the same. Don't worry. Like he was just like, don't you worry. I was like, okay. Cause I just panicked, you know, like I was like, oh, like I'm teaching people and I'm neurodivergent.
Yeah.
You know, so I did have like a little bit of a crisis, but you know, having people and mentors and helping did really help me. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so interesting. I actually remember hearing someone before that I know, she's neurodivergent, and her children actually, they call it neurospicy. They're like, we're a neurospicy house. And I'm like, I love
Ooh,
that.
love that.
Yeah, isn't it cool? But before we go, Sinead, I love to ask each guest I have on the same question, and it's just like one piece of advice or something that you've learned, or it could be a quote or something that someone has told you or that you picked up along the way that you would like to share with everyone.
People ask me this, I always say the same quote because it kind of brings everything together. It's like, how can you expect the best from the world when you don't give the world your best? And it's like, it kind of reminds me also of like the spiritual way of karma. And it's like, if you're actually feeling like everything's wrong and everything keeps happening to you, I'm like, just try give. Like, if you're at a really bad day, if you go and buy a random stranger and they don't even know you bought it, just go buy them a coffee, it will change your mood.
Literally.
Like something so small, like giving. If I'm ever in a really bad state, like I think, okay, what can I do today? And like planting seeds of karma. Be like, here's a few seeds. Like they're always going to come back to you. And I just feel like do your best, right? It's not about, it's mostly about service, right? Like your best feeling is when you give service to people. Like you probably get the best whenever you're giving service and you're thinking, I love when people listen to my podcast and they're like, oh my God, Sinead, that really resonated with me and that really helped me in my relationship. It's like, it's just about service. It's not even about the business or the money. It's always about the feeling of the service that gets you more high than anything. So yeah, just if you're feeling down, if you're feeling out, just like give. How can you give today? How can you give a service? How can you, and like you can do anything. You can give someone a compliment. It doesn't have to be money. You can give to a random charity. You can give anything. Will just raise your vibration a little bit more. Plant seeds of karma. Yeah.
And it makes so much sense because like you have to be able to give it and then be willing to receive it back, and it's like the whole thing with karma, and it will come back to you. And yeah, how can you expect
and then you're like, of course that happened to me because I planted that seed.
Of course, yeah, back to the of course.
Of course that person gave me that job because I was so nice to like this person and like did it. Like it's just like it's like you want to be able to say of course. So what can you do to yourself? What can you do yourself to be like, of course she deserves it.
Of course, everything is working out in my favor. Yeah. Oh my God, I love that. Sinead, it's been so amazing to talk to you. If you want to tell everyone, I know people probably know about the Brave Way, but if you want to tell everyone where they can find you or anything you've got coming up at the moment, I know you're growing life and you're engaged, so I'm sure there's so much going on in your personal life, but anywhere people can find you, I know they already know who you are anyways.
Well, my name is Sinead Heg, soon to be Sinead Smith. Now I'm like, oh my God, am I going to call myself Sinead Smith? I don't know.
I love it.
I love it too. I said it's not because everyone was like, oh, they didn't expect me to want to take Sam's name, and I'm like, yeah, but I'm taking Sam's name because his name's cooler. Yeah, like it's not like Sam. In my last relationship, like I was like,
that just
we're gonna be the Smiths.
Oh my God,
and they're all S. So
oh my
it's so
God.
cute.
I love that.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So, like it's not, everyone's like, well, that's very like on like because obviously I do like sometimes I can be a bit of a man eater. Do you know what I mean? And everyone's like, you're taking Sam's name, and I'm like, his name's cooler, and I like it better. But in my last relationship, I was like, we're taking my name. Do you know what I mean? Because it was better. So it's just like, it's not about like even tradition. It's just about I like his name better. No, I like my name, but obviously his is like cool.
Yeah.
Sinead Smith.
And the Smith is really cool too. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I don't even know how I'm on the story. I say ADHD. But yeah, so the Brave Way, yeah, we have an app. You can find it on the Brave Way Instagram. It's literally like meditations to you drop dead. There are so many on there, and we bring more and more people on there as well. We've got loads of new coaches coming on, especially when I'm pregnant. It's like I'm taking a little bit of step back and letting other people and other holistic coaches come in. So it's so exciting. But yeah, there's so much on there. We're all about that, of course, energy at the minute. That's kind of the vibes we're on in the app. I'm trying to think what else. Oh yeah, the Sinead Says podcast. That's it.
Yeah. Oh my God. I love that. I love that. We'll definitely be keeping up for sure. Sinead Hegg, soon to be Sinead Smith. It was an absolute pleasure to have you on the podcast today. And thank you so much.
Thank you so much. See ya.
Thank you for tuning into Cosmic Conversations. If you enjoyed this episode, then please let me know. Maybe consider leaving a 5-star review or a comment on what you thought. I'd love to hear suggestions and feedback on any topics you'd like me to explore or unpack, or maybe a guest that you'd like me to have on so I can pick their brain. If you have a cosmic confession or a dilemma that you'd like me to explore next week, then please send it my way on Instagram at Cosmic Conversations Pod, or email thecosmiccoach.ie@gmail.com. Thank you and see you next week.